Hello everyone, welcome to the Comcast Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you my review of The Mandalorian season finale, Chapter 8, Redemption. Now, Mandalorian has had its ups and downs. We've talked about this before. I've reviewed each episode, so you guys really don't need me to tell you my thoughts on the controversy around its episodic nature and around a lot of things. Now, Rise of Skywalker has come out last weekend. I've talked about that, and it came out just in time for for Mandalorian to come save the day. But last week, Mandalorian came out on a Wednesday, and it ended on this hell of a cliffhanger. So this episode takes place immediately after, and you can tell from jump that this is directed by Taika Waititi. If you don't know who Taika Waititi is, aka the director of Hunt for the Wilder People, aka the director of Thor Ragnarok, or the director of the most recent movie, Jojo Rabbit. Taika Waititi is a interesting dude, fun dude, crazy guy. He's got this way, he's got a style onto himself. I have to say, the first 3 minutes of this episode is probably the funniest thing in this entire fucking show. It is hysterical. There's these two, troopers, the troopers who picked up Baby Yoda are just having a conversation, and it's the dialogue in the conversation and the execution of them talking about it, it's just hilarious to me. I'm just like, this is funny, man. Taika's great. This episode, I don't know if it's the best episode, but if you want to end your season on a high, it did that. Great action. It was it had the most funniest bits in it. This episode had the funniest bits and the best action. Greatest special effects. You learn more about the Mandalorian. You'll learn more about Baby Yoda. You'll learn more about the Mandalorians in general. You get the Mandalorian's name and you get to see the Mandalorian's face. You get some amazing action sequences. You get character growth. This season finale does everything. You get all of it. Character growth. You see the Mandalorian's face for the first time. You see the Mandalorian's face for the first time. You get more information on the villain. You get more information on the other characters who are with you, like Cara Dune and Grief. You get more you get stuff with Baby Yoda. You get more stuff with the Mandalorians. You finally get to see who saved Mando back when he was a kid. Everything is out on Front Street for this, man, and it is done awesomely. All of it is done great. Honestly, this is probably, in a year where there have been a lot of disappointing season finales, this has to be one of the better season finales. It does it, and Mandalorian does it in this weird way. A lot of season finales do it in a dun dun dun, they try to you can tell when a show isn't sure if it's gonna get a second season. And you can also tell if a show is too fucking sure it's going to get a second season. Mandalorian is completely confident it's going to get a second season because the way it ends, it isn't dropping any proclamations. It's setting up. They do set some things up. But I love the fact, because I had a theory. And I'm going to just put this theory out here and just say that it doesn't happen. I was wrong about my whole Boba Fett thing. But I had the theory that Boba Fett was going to show up. And the more, when the show started to go on, the episode started to go on, the more I started to realize, you know what, that feels a bit gimmicky, to try to do that now, to just be like, we don't know if the show's gonna, if we're like, the show has to move it. No, this show is so confident in the fact that it's getting that second season, that the second season is on the way, and the second season will be here around the same time next year. It is so confident in that it made me confident in them. And that's all I can really ask for from a show. The season finale, it went on without a hitch. Great stuff, great action, great comedy, great character work, introduction of an interesting villain, and it has a final shot that will make anyone who's a fan of the Legends or Clone Wars or Rebels or any of that stuff, it will make you excited, man. So I have to give Chapter 8 at 9.5. It wasn't quite perfect. I still think I enjoyed other chapters better, but it's damn near perfect. I think it does so many stuff. It takes so much from 7 and just builds upon it. Honestly, I feel like you should think of 7 and 8 as one episode, one big 1 hour and 1 hour and 30 minute episode, 1 hour and 20 minute episode. Just think of it like that. If you watch these two together, it's just one episode. It's one fantastic episode together. So all in all, if I had to give the entire season of review a grade, I'd give it a 9. I'd give it a solid 9, maybe 9. At its base, to me, it's an 8. At its height, it's a 9.5, which makes it a solid 9. At its height, it's a 9.5. That's how I do my grades for some reason. I go, what is it at its weakest? Like, what is it at its weakest? An 8. What is it at its highest? A 9.5. 9. So, well, I guess that would make it like an 8.5. No. I'm going to just say 9 because I like it a little bit more than the 8.5. I'm going to go solid 9. It's one of the best shows I've seen this year. It's a different show, too, because every show this year that's come out so far this year, every show in the last 5 years, really, has been all about this one singular story and telling a singular story, and like people have been, and like Witcher tried to find a cool way to to subvert that just ended up bugging the fuck out of me. But this show just goes, no, we're gonna do some episodic shit and then we're gonna get back to it. Or no, we're gonna do episodic shit, but there's gonna be a through line in the background, and we'll eventually get all the way back to it. But just wait on it. This show has patience. The patience to do episodic things, to go have Mando go do things, to explore parts of the universe not seen before. Honestly, this series and this last season in particular really like watching this last episode really, reconfirmed something that I always thought about the show, which is that this show is about exploring the parts of the Star Wars world that isn't shown that may not be explored, but that has been talked about. Because I feel like when they finally get around to doing more Star Wars movies, they're gonna just push it into the future. But this show's about exploring the things that you haven't heard about and making certain things canon that weren't canon, and making things canon that weren't canon. Legitimizing legend things, because Dave Filoni's a big Star Wars guy. He's Lucas's #1 man. So like this show's catnip for Star Wars fans. If you're a Star Wars fan and you're not watching Mandalorians, you can't call yourself a Star Wars fan, because if you do not like the movies, you love Mandalorian. It's great. I love this show. I had a blast with it, and I always thought that the coolest thing you could be, and this show did something that is very rare, which is for decades now, the coolest thing you could be in Star Wars is a Mandalorian. Is not a Mandalorian. Is a Jedi or Sith. This show makes Mandalorians look badass. This show made me go, I don't know, maybe I would want to be a Mandalorian. They look like they're pretty badass. They're Beskar steel. They're basically like fucking space Spartans. They look pretty badass to me. So, and it made a star out of the Mandalorian, and I can't wait to see it. So I will give the Mandalorian Season 1 a solid 9. Enjoyed it. Had great stuff. It goes into the things in Star Wars lore that people have only heard about. It canonizes certain things that were up in the air. It shows new planets. It shows the aftermath of the results of after crazy things happen. I have no doubt that the next season is even going to have a bigger budget, and it's going to be even more in depth. Honestly, it should be like the next season is filming now. Like Jon Favreau posted up pictures of him filming season 2 when episode 3 came out. That was weeks ago. So that shit is well in. Like they're filming right now. I'm curious to see what directors they bring back. And another thing, one thing I want to mention before I call it quits. I love that the fact that the show is episodic allows them to bring in different directors who can put their stamp on the different episodes, because it's so episodic that it's almost like these directors get to come in and make their own little pocket episode, like their own little, I can do this with this, and put their own stamp on it. Like, it's been a while since I've seen something this cinematic that Rick Famuyiwa and Deborah Chow, you could distinctly feel the different directors, and you could distinctly feel the different director that Taika Waititi is. Like, it's been a while since I've seen something like that where I distinctly feel the different directors' touches on the different episodes, and it wouldn't have worked as well if it wasn't episodic. And I hope they keep the episodic thing going for much longer, because like I said, it allows the directors to come in and put their stamp on the individual episode even more so. So thank you guys for joining me in that Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. What did you think of The Mandalorian Season 1. What did you think of the episode, the season finale? I loved both. Thank you guys for joining me, Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.